After what has felt like an eternity, we have finally gotten to the NFL draft. We've gone through free agency, the whole coaching change. We got our new man at the top in Robert Saleh, and Joe Douglas is pulling all the strings for all of these draft picks. We have 10 this year, so let's get into it. Here is my final version of the New York Jets mock draft for 2021. J-E-T-S, Jets! Welcome in. My name is Ryan. I'll be your pilot today. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Boys and girls, I go live every Monday and Tuesday, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Monday is my live call-in show. You can ask me all your Jet-related questions. And then Tuesday, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I go live with me, O'Leary, and Green Bean, the Jets fan. So make sure you check out that to have more Jets content. Sorry. Oh, God. I've been up way too long. But let's talk about our draft plans. We got a whole bunch of good reactions from last year's live stream for all 3 days of the NFL draft. This year, we're going to be doing the same thing, except we're going to be giving away an NFL Jets jersey for both first-round picks in this year's draft. All you have to do is click on the first link in the description, leave a comment saying you want the jersey, and I will go through day 2 of the NFL draft, beginning of day 2, or maybe the end of day 2. We'll see. And we will pick someone to win a jersey. 2 people to win a jersey. 2 first-round picks. Unless we wind up trading out of the first-round pick, then maybe things are a little different. But let's jump into the video for today. We're talking my final mock draft for the 2021 NFL draft for the New York Jets, and I'm excited about it. It has been a long offseason. We had a coaching change. We brought in a bunch of free agents. We've missed on a few free agents that a lot of guys were upset about, but I'm looking forward to it. There's been the whole quarterback conversation. Should we keep Sam Darnold? Should we trade Sam Darnold? All this different stuff. It finally gets answered. He gets traded to the Carolina Panthers for a 2nd, a 4th, and a 6th round pick. Now, us Jet fans on the first night of the draft can at least be excited to take a quarterback. Whether it's the quarterback you want or not, probably up for debate. But I'm excited nonetheless. I think this is going to be a really, really cool draft, especially for the next 2 years, because we have 2 first-round picks the next 2 years, and we have 2 second-round picks next year. So really, really exciting. So let's jump right into it. At number 2 overall, I have the Jets selecting quarterback from BYU, Zach Wilson. He stands at 6'3", 210 pounds. He's number 3 on Tankathon's big board. And this seems like it is the closest thing to a lock of a pick for the top 2 since the Andrew Luck RG3 draft. Now, hopefully, we don't get the RG3 version of that draft because he has been largely irrelevant the last few years. Not what you want out of number 2 overall pick. But I'm really excited for Zach Wilson. I mean, more than likely, the top 3, probably top 4 picks could be quarterbacks. But Zach Wilson is going to be the best quarterback of the remaining quarterbacks not named Trevor Lawrence. So I'm looking forward to it. A lot of people are going to be upset saying, oh, he's a one-year wonder. It was the bad level of competition. Look at his 2019 stats. Yeah, look at his 2019 stats. Guess what? His career high in interceptions was Sam Darnold's career low in interceptions. So if you were all pro Sam Darnold and not pro Zach Wilson, just get out of the room. Just no, let's get behind this. Let's go with a quarterback. I think it's going to be Zach Wilson. I think that's basically all we've heard the last few weeks, and it's that Joe Douglas is enamored with him. 49ers didn't even try to get up to number 2 because the Jets were locked in on a quarterback. Now, I'm looking forward to this pick. Wall Street Wilson has a great ring to it. Hopefully he can back up his play. He is, a lot of people have been calling him the Mormon Mahomes. I don't see that necessarily, but the off-script plays and the ways he can contort his body to make a throw feels very much like a shortstop in an NFL jersey. That the one throw he had at his pro day. And I know it's a pro day, but the one throw was just so pretty. So pretty. All right, let's get into more of the exciting parts of the draft. We're talking about our 2nd first-round pick number 23. In this slot, there are a few different ways I'd like to go. If there's a really good interior offensive lineman like Elijah Vera Tucker there, that would be a great pick. I really like J.C. Horn, although I see him going a lot higher than 23 at this point. And then edge rusher-wise, I love Kwity Paye. If any one of those 3 players fall to 23, those would be my selection. I have all 3 of them going before that pick. So I'm looking at cornerback Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech. He's 6'2", 197 pounds. He's number 18 on Tankathon's big board. Now, the reason Caleb Farley is falling, he was considered a top 10 cornerback, but he has had back surgery this offseason and missed his pro day. So a lot of people are going to be worried about the injury issues, and the Jets, I know we've had a hard time with the cornerback position since Darrelle Revis left, and we had D. Milner, injury-prone, cornerback. Probably leaves a bad taste in a lot of Jet fans' mouths, so you probably want someone that's a little bit healthier than Farley. Now, here's my argument against that. He is a top 10 level cornerback if he's healthy. So if Joe Douglas feels like his medicals check out, this is the pick I want them to make. I think edge or cornerback in this slot would make a lot of sense, getting a fifth-year option with that type of premium position. I think it's important. Now, he did opt out for 2020 after a very, very good 2018 and 2019. Now, I consider this pick very similar to the Jaguars' selection of Myles Jack. Now, that pick was made, I believe, in the second round. So a little bit of maybe not quite the same thing, but when you have your first overall pick or number 2 overall pick and you can make a selection, you can kind of roll the dice a little bit on the back end. Now, if we don't want Farley to start right away and we don't want to force him into the starting lineup, I'm all about bringing in Richard Sherman on a cheap 1-year, 2-year deal, something like that to help teach the offense. I think he is a great mentor for a lot of these young cornerbacks. And heck, this would be an all-star first 2 picks for me. I'd be very, very happy considering you get 2 considered top 10 players with your top 23 picks. At number 34, I have the Jets taking guard Wyatt Davis out of Ohio State. He's 6'4", 310 pounds. He is number 50 on Tankathon's big board. A lot of people might say Landon Dickerson, but he tore his ACL at the end of this season in December, so I don't think he will be ready for the start of the 2021 campaign. I like Wyatt Davis. He projects as a starting right guard right off the bat. He has all the size to be able to start right away. And you can basically remove Van Roten from that position. We need 2 interior offensive linemen. We need basically both guard spots. It seems like they're pretty determined to play Connor McGovern at center, so I don't see us going the center route in this draft. I think that could be a next year's draft type of option. He's going to be plug and play. His weakness, from what I've seen and what I've read in some of his draft profiles, he has a few miscommunications on stunts and linebacker blitzes, but I think that's something that can get ironed out in the future. So if you get your quarterback, a stud lockdown corner, and a starting guard to help your quarterback right off the bat, I think we're in good shape. At number 66, I have the Jets taking a linebacker, Dylan Moses, 6'3", 233 pounds. This is a pick I don't necessarily want to make from a position standpoint. Like, ideally in my mind, guard, cornerback, edge rusher should be the first 3 picks outside of number 2 quarterback. So when I'm taking a linebacker this early, this to me is more so of a Robert Saleh pick. CJ Mosley's time in New York is very limited. You saw Joe Douglas get rid of all his hefty contracts. So I would think Mosley at the end of the season probably going to get removed from the team. Jarrad Davis from the Lions is only on a 1-year contract. So I think we're going to bring in a replacement. This guy can hit like a son of a batch of cookies. Like, really good sideline-to-sideline linebacker. He has played all 3 positions across the linebacker spectrum. So I think that is really important. I think versatility is so key in the NFL when you have so many injuries like the Jets have had over the course of the last 2 years. So while inside linebacker or linebacker in general is not a position that a lot of us probably want to hit early on, I think it's an important spot based on the needs coming up in the future and where you can probably get a starting caliber player at this point in the draft. Now, we move on to pick number 86. I have the Jets taking wide receiver TYLAN Wallace out of Oklahoma State. He's 6 foot tall, 190 pounds. He was number 74 on Tankathon's big board. This guy could be a legit deep threat, not so much with the speed, but more so with the 50-50 balls. He is really good at contested catches. It was really impressive over the course of his 3-year career. He had over 100 yards in every single game dating back to 2018. So I think this guy has the production on tape. I think he has the athleticism to be a 50-50 ball type guy. Guys like Mims, Corey Davis, and Keelan Cole are all really good at contested catches. So this feels like it could be a nice replacement on the outside, maybe that Z wide receiver out there. I really like this. I think this would be a really, really good pick here. He tore his ACL at the end of the 2019 season, but it actually didn't really affect him in 2020 at all. So the guy feels like he's a healthy freak of a specimen. So what is this, the end of the 3rd round? Yeah, I'm okay with this pick. You gotta give your wide receiver, or gotta give your quarterback some weapons. You have your, the 2 wide receivers you brought in this offseason. You bring in the guard, you bring in the wide receiver. Now, pick 107. I have the Jets taking my boy, Kenneth Gainwell out of Memphis, 5'11", 191 pounds. He is number 83 on Tankathon's big board. He opted out due to COVID. He actually had 4 family members die of COVID this year, so that's why he decided to forego this year on the football field. Now, I have been championing Gainwell since about halfway through the season, and I'm not stopping there. There's going to be a bunch of other running backs you could consider, and that's fine. You could really go a bunch of different routes here. So, like I said, number 83 on Tankathon's big board. He has the ability to run and catch out of the backfield. He could definitely line up in the slot, an incredibly versatile piece for the New York Jets in this offense. Jeremy Curley, Jamison Crowder, going into the last year of his deal with the New York Jets, you're going to need some type of presence in the slot, and I don't think you're going to move him full-time over there, but I do think he could be a really good committee back when you are talking about a full stable. It seems like the 49ers offense likes to have that running back by committee. I like Ty Johnson. I like P. Ryan a lot. This Memphis running back here, I like him a lot too. At number 147, I have edge Patrick Jones out of Pitt. He is 260 pounds at 6'5". He has the perfect frame for an edge rusher. I was taking a look at all the DNs on the 49ers, and I think the smallest one was like 6'5", 250 pounds or so. So size-wise, it seems like this guy fits the role. I didn't want to go too high on edge rusher just because we brought in Vinny Curry, we brought in Carl Lawson. Carl Lawson projects to be the starter on the one side, and then you hope that Vinny Curry could be the situational pass rusher on either the other side or to give Carl Lawson a break. We did draft Zuniga last year, which is why I think the Jets won't go too high up the draft board this year to look for an edge unless a really good one falls to that 23 or 34 pick. So at this point, I think this is a really nice value pick. He had 24 tackles for losses, 17 and a half sacks in just 22 games with Pitt. So the guy seems like he's got moves. He has a bunch of pass rush moves. Just go watch his tape. It's really impressive. I would like this pick. He has kind of fallen down a little bit. I had seen him go as high as like the 3rd round. So I guess falling down to this pick is nice for our New York Jets. At number 154, I have the Jets going and double dipping at guard. Aaron Banks out of Notre Dame. He is 6'6", 330 pounds. He received 30 scholarship offers out of college or out of high school. His biggest strength is in pass protection. He is excellent at getting hands on guys right off the snap. A con would be he's not as athletic as someone of that stature. You would like to see him be a little bit faster, move a little bit quicker. But I would like to see him compete with Clark, our 4th round pick last year, that's projected to play guard. So I would like to see the two of them compete for that left guard spot, and then ideally you just have the best guy start and you create some cohesion across this offensive line and you protect Zach Wilson like we did not protect Sam Darnold. So big fan of this move here. At number 186, I have the Jets going with a slot cornerback, KARY Vincent Jr. out of LSU. He is 5'10", 185 pounds. He is an extremely reliable slot corner. Now, I have said I really want Brian Poole back. As of recording this video, he is unsigned, but the Jets brought in the former Atlanta D coordinator? He's our D coordinator now. And they allowed Poole to leave in free agency just 2-3 years ago. So my gut feeling is they don't expect to use him this year. They're going to let him walk. I would like to see KARY Vincent Jr. come here. The guy is blazing fast. He ran like a 4.33 at his pro day. So I like this move. I think he's really good at the underneath routes, which is exactly what you need from your slot cornerback, and he can hit pretty friggin' hard. So I would be really excited for this type of pick. I think it's a good grooming pick, and he can also slide back to safety in a pinch, say if Marcus May winds up leaving. Maybe you have a little bit more depth in that secondary. And with our final pick, the last pick in the draft for the Jets, number 226, I have the Jets taking kicker Jose Borregales out of Miami. Now, you might be saying, Ryan, why would you take a kicker? You could just get one in free agency. And to that, I say we took a punter last year late in the draft, and he's our starter. So I think if you find a kicker that you believe can be your starter long-term on a cheap contract, maybe that's the route Douglas is going to go. If you want to plug in some other player here, you're not going to hear any gripes from me. But we have had awful kicking situations the last 2 years, so we're going to solve that right here. Borregales was 37 of 37 on extra points, 20 of 22 on field goals. He was 5 of 5 inside 30, 6 of 6 between 30 and 39 yards. 7 of 9 between 40 and 49 yards, and 2 of 2 for kicks over 50 yards with a long of 56 yards. So the Jets solve their final problem. Not final problem. We got a bunch of problems. But they solved that kicking problem that gets you so many points throughout a year, a kicker. Field goals, extra points, kickoffs, putting them in bad field position. That's what we need for the New York Jets, and I think this guy can get it done. So overall, I have the Jets, basically, hopefully fixing their quarterback situation. You addressed cornerback, you address edge rusher, you address running back, linebacker. There's a bunch of players in this draft. Let me know what you guys think. What would you grade this draft? Am I totally off base on my grading here? It's certainly possible. I use Tankathon and Pro Football Focus as my big boards, and there's a lot of volatility. So if one of these guys could go higher or lower in this draft, sorry. Sorry, it's not the same as a normal year, but this is who I'm looking for. I'm really excited. I think this would be an A-plus draft for the New York Jets. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Make sure you tune in for us on the draft night with your shot to win one of 2 potential jerseys from the New York Jets. Guys, my name's Ryan. I've been your pilot. And as always, go Jets.